Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. So not too long ago, a batch of new Pokemon from Sun and Moon were released, and I typically leave Pokemon to the professionals, but there was one in particular I had to talk about, Drampa. So what do we know about him? Well, aside from the fact that he looks like what Falcor may have melted into when he went over the hill, he's a dual normal dragon type living alone in the mountains 1,000 feet above sea level, comes down off the mountain to eat and commune with people, is very vigilant and protective of children, and whose breath has the ability to destroy buildings. Plural. We also know that his Japanese name Jijidon is a hybridization of Jiji, or old man, and Long, which is the Chinese word for dragon. So already we have some idea of where to get started as we try to figure out what the heck Drampa is based off of. And after a decent amount of digging and help from a fan, I'm pretty sure the cultural origin of Drampa resides in the Chinese dragon known as Zhulong, also known as the Candle Dragon. Bearing the face of an old man and the body of a worm dragon, Zhulong actually has prominent history in Chinese creationist mythology and is cited in the Shanghai Jing, or Classic of Mountain and Sea. He dwells on a mountain known as Zhangwei, which according to my research resides north of the Chusui River. His two eyes represent the sun and the moon, and based on which one is open, would summon day and night. He never sleeps, never eats, or drinks, and the only time he ever feels the need to breathe is to change the seasons. When he exhales, the sky is filled with storms, snow, and hail, but when he inhales, the land would be covered in sun and heat. Eternally, he watches over humanity so that when it came time for a soul to pass on to the other world, he would guide the departed to Heaven's Gate using a powerful candle that's set in his mouth, thus giving him the name Candle Dragon. Now then, what in the world does the Candle Dragon have to do with Drampa? I mean, one, they don't even really look too much alike. Drampa also seems to honestly take after Falcor with his affinity for children than the Candle Dragon, and wait a sec, the Candle Dragon doesn't eat, but in Drampa's info section it says it specifically eats berries that he leaves the mountains for, so what's the deal? Okay, let's back up for a second because there's actually a lot more going on here than meets the eye. The Candle Dragon is basically half old man, half dragon, right? Now, what's Drampa? Not only is the name half old man, half dragon, but even his type mirrors this. If you were to consider regular old humans separate from the fantastical as quote normal, you would still have half normal guy, half dragon with the Candle Dragon. Now how about their homes? Well, according to Pokemon's webpage, Drampa lives in the mountains 10,000 feet above sea level, while the Candle Dragon lives on the Zhangwei mountain just north of the Chusui River. From what I found, there is a mountain range north of Chusui called the Daolo Mountains, and guess what? They're over 7,000 feet above sea level. Pretty dang close to the 10,000 feet Drampa dwells in. Not to mention there's no record of the Zhangwei Mountain's height, but if it's a mighty enough mountain for the Candle Dragon to live on, I'd be surprised if it isn't higher than the 7,000 foot range surrounding it. Next, let's talk about eyes. While Drampa's bio doesn't say anything special about this, nor does the limited footage we have depict his eyes as being anything else besides purple circles, I still think there's a strong connection between Pokemon Sun and Moon and the Candle Dragon in this regard. As previously stated, the Candle Dragon's eyes represent and control the sun and moon, calling forth the day and night by opening or closing its eyes. Why is this so important? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the fact that it's the theme for the entire game. If we've learned anything from older Pokedex entries, it's that every generation usually presents new canonical information about Pokemon. And while there's nothing said about Drampa's eyes in the Pokedex entry we have, that does not mean that's all Drampa is. Knowing the theme of the game and how eerily close in symbolism the Candle Dragon is to the game's theme and Drampa, the connection could easily be there still. Now let's talk about breath. According to the bio entry, if provoked enough, Drampa can unleash a dragon's breath so powerful it can demolish buildings. Multiple buildings. And it's one of the few things we actually see it do in the trailer. As previously mentioned, the Candle Dragon also has an ongoing theme with breath as well, with inhales and exhales so powerful it changes the seasons. I would find it pretty strange to make Drampa's Dragon's Breath a bio point if it didn't have a parallel to another ancient dragon with legendary breath weapons. Finally, let's talk about how these two interact with humanity. Drampa focuses on protecting and nurturing children, typically going into a rage only when a child in its care is threatened. But when you think about it, as a creation god, humanity is pretty much the child of the Candle Dragon alongside the other divine creation deities of Chinese mythology. In fact, one of the things that the Candle Dragon Zhulong does do while he chills on Zhangwei for eternity is keep watch, just like Drampa does for children. After all, it's the Candle Dragon that shows the way to the gates of heaven in the north. So while for a lot of people this Pokemon comes off as a doofy Grandpa Falcor, remember, looks can be deceiving. It's very likely we're dealing with a Pokemon that can give Arceus a run for his money. But thanks for watching, everyone. And hey, as a betting Goombah, I'd wager if you like Pokemon, you might like anime. And if so, consider a subscription to Loot Anime. From the creators of Loot Crate, Loot Anime is a subscription service that for about 25 bucks nets you anime swag worth twice the price right to your front door. Last month's Theme of Victory provided biker manga Yowamushi Pedal Volume 1 alongside a sweet themed shirt to go with it, luggage tag and aluminum bottle from the Hunky Swimming Man anime free, and my personal favorite, the all-powerful Kraken plush from Splatoon. Next month's theme of Squadron promises loot from Gate, Anti-Magic Academy, and more. So what are you waiting for? If you want in on this sweet gear, head on over to lootcrate.com/Goombah3 and input the code Goombah3 at checkout to get 10% off your purchase just for my viewers. But don't wait long, the cutoff date for this month is July 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific. These guys have had my back for a long time now, and supporting them means supporting my freedom to keep making content the way I want to. But speaking of, if you're hungry for more culture and gaming, click here to check out how Roadhog of Overwatch is a literal OP demigod. Or click here to hear my answer to the long-ass question of, is anime racist? And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all of my newest cultural theories. But until next time, everyone, this is Gaijin Goombah, signing out.